Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to talk to you about a topic that we haven't spoke about, or at least I haven't recorded a video about in a while. And that is law enforcement repeated abuse, torture, false incarceration, and attempted murder of me. Multiple times within the last year, and I'll say year and a half, the police would stop me and pick me up on false pretenses at least 5 or 6 times. Each time, the police themselves have either robbed me of my cash and property or have left my things on the street for other people to take. And within these opportunities and each chance that this has had, this has led up to hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars worth of my personal property, including silver crosses, Stacey Adams hats, silver jewelry, I just said that, Bibles, my house keys, and so on. Intentionally, knowing that these things belong to me again, that's why I told you, they either personally robbed me and kept the things for themselves or left the stuff on the street for other people to take. Also, last year, Santa Monica police arrested me twice in 2 days. The first time, I was arrested for stopping someone from robbing me. The man followed me from the bank and came into the McDonald's at Santa Monica by the beach and attempted to rob me. The police was informed of that, did not investigate. Yeah, the man was looking at me through the window, at the bank teller, at the bank machine, at the ATM. I saw him in the mirrors, and he followed me from the bank to McDonald's and tried to rob me. I stopped him, but instead of the police looking for the people who was trying to rob me, they took me to jail and illegally seized my property, including the cell phone and possibly $40 worth of cash. I say possibly because I did have the $40, and it was not returned to me. The next day, upon trying to return to Santa Monica to receive my property, because I told you the rest was soft sake, and they had no reason for doing that. So they let me out the next day. The next day, on the attempt to return to get my property, I was attacked by 3 other individuals who had nothing to do with the previous robbery the next day. But hey, it happens, especially in Santa Monica. Anyhow, after me stopping the robbery, I was arrested the second day. After stopping the second day attack on me. Now, y'all might ask, how's this man stopping all these attacks and robberies on him? I've been practicing martial arts empty hand for 20 years, and I practice weapons as well. I'm a master at empty hand. I am a master at weapons. I do not call myself a master, but in order for you to understand the level of competence that I have, I use the word master, especially for this particular video, and to inform people of the level of skill I have. But simply, I am both a student and a teacher. So I do not allow people to call me master. I prefer teacher or student, of which I am. Anyhow, on the second day, the police, again, took away my property, all my property, including all of my medications. The Santa Monica police lied to me and told me they had no medical staff there. The police put me in a freezing cell. Yes, the cell was freezing. And yes, they tried to freeze me to death while they watched me have multiple seizures on the closed circuit television they have there, while they laughed and joked about it and tried to murder me by freezing me and denying medical treatment. And the reason why I can tell you that that's what they were doing, Santa Monica police were trying to freeze me and trying to murder me by allowing me to have seizures and taking my medications, because that's what they were doing to prison when they were trying to murder me. So I expressly and specifically told the Santa Monica police just that they did not work when CDCR correctional officers was trying to do the same things to me in prison. It will not work this time either, because God is keeping me alive in order to be a witness to this. Because as I have informed so many people before, police have been beating on me, setting me up, torturing me and trying to murder me ever since I was 11 years old on multiple occasions. And this was 2 more times that they did it. Now, the reason why I'm making this video at this particular time, 1, I've been busy doing other things. And 2, another false arrest just happened again within the last couple of weeks. This time, a strange man, dialed 911 and called 911 and lied to them and told them that I was attacking him. Now, on the 911 phone call, unlike you hear my voice just going up and down, just doing a video, his voice was so cool and so calm when he was on 911. And he was telling them, or saying on the phone, "Sir, don't come near me, sir. Stay away from me, sir." But the pitch of his voice never changed. So automatically, the people on the 911 phone call knew that it was not an emergency, because who does that? If you're not a professional and you're not used to negotiating or something like that, maybe you could do something like that. But someone who's being attacked by a martial artist, or at least he didn't know it was a martial artist, so someone who's being attacked with weapons, do not allow his voice to go up and down when he's being violently assaulted. Anyway, the police, LAPD, arrive at the scene. When they get to the scene, they see half of my items in the street and half of my items in the trash. Now, as I told you, this was suits, Bibles, but amongst those things were martial arts weapons. I have multiple weapons. Because I practice martial arts, I had flying discs, nunchucks, and such. The police, upon seeing my weapons, decide at that point to arrest me. And the reason why I say decide at that point is because from him having no wounds, from them seeing where my property was at, both in the trash and the street, they know I didn't do that, including the weapon that he claimed I assaulted him with. The man showed him a video of me doing nothing to him. In fact, the police saw 2 videos of me doing nothing to him. One that he committed that he recorded on the cell phone, and 2 of the closed circuit cameras that were outside his business. So they saw me doing nothing to him. In fact, those closed circuit televisions outside his business and those cameras recorded him throwing my things in the trash. But yet, the police, in fear of the weapons that I had, which I had never assaulted anyone with in the first place, I practiced with those weapons. I practiced martial arts. But upon fear of me having those weapons, they decided to go along with the man's setup and to take me to jail and falsely incarcerate me. Now, in the process of me explaining to the other officers what was actually going on, and telling them how I had been set up multiple times and beat up multiple times and had multiple police try to murder me, one of the cops, who was the boss, I guess the watch commander at the police station, told me to shut up. And I said, I'm not going to shut up and be quiet and not tell people how you guys have been beating me and torturing me and falsely imprisoning me. And at that moment, with his body language, he gave the go-ahead for the LAPD to start to twist my arm. And this little scar right here you can see, y'all know they don't put the handcuffs up this high if you ever been arrested or ever seen them on television. That's one of the scars I had from them doing that. See how high that is up there? See how high I had to raise my sleeve up? That's not why I put on this shirt, but I'm glad I put on this shirt. See that? That was a couple weeks ago when that happened, and as you guys can see, that still hasn't healed. Anyway, they were torturing and twisting and tearing me all up and doing my body like this, and so I told them, this is not the first time you guys have done something like this. You guys have been doing this to me for years. I just was telling your friends this, your coworkers this, and you're the prime example, and you guys are the prime example of what's going on. Anyway, to make a long story short, the initial arrest for the so-called assault with a deadly weapon that never happened between the setup between the police and the so-called business owner or whoever he was, that was a DA reject. In other words, the district attorney refused to even file a case because it was not real. But I did have a warrant in Santa Monica for the 2 previous false arrests. The reason why I say the false arrest is because the first one, when I stopped the robbery, that was truly a false arrest. And the second one, for vandalism, low-key, I had just been assaulted by 3 individuals, and the police had seized my weapons the day before. So I was trying to make a weapon. I'm not going to lie about that. What am I supposed to do when I just was assaulted by 3 people? Anyhow, police knew all this. District attorney knew all this. Hell, everyone in Santa Monica knew this because, as y'all know, that's Santa Monica's beach time. I was the talk of the town for 2 days. But the police kept trying to act like I was a maniac and kept telling people I was a maniac and kept trying to kill me. So I went to City Hall, tried to report it, went to the police station to try to receive my property. They didn't give me my property back. City Hall acted like nothing happened. City Hall didn't want nothing to come out, didn't want no complaints to be filed or none of this. And so, after I was arrested again the other day for the false charges, they took me to Santa Monica to answer for the 2 previous charges. But first of all, I didn't even know nothing about no weapons charges. I didn't think I had no weapons charges. Why? Because I stopped somebody from robbing me. So I figured that would probably be a DA reject too, or maybe they didn't even file it because nobody never brought that up to me. They never said, we're arresting you for having weapons charges, yada, yada, yada. They just took me into custody and just let me go. And after after almost being murdered and being locked up for 2 days for false arrest, with the police trying to kill me, I did try to turn myself into LATD so I could go to answer for Santa Monica. But I didn't want to go to Santa Monica because they had just tried to kill me and just rob me and just arrested me 2 days in a row for stuff that I shouldn't have been arrested for. They just had tortured me, tried to freeze me to death. They just sat there and watched me have seizures over and over again and made a joke out of it. So I wasn't in a hurry to go to Santa Monica court to be locked up again for stuff I didn't do. So I said, okay, well, whenever I get arrested for something else I didn't do, I'll answer for it. And that's exactly what happened. And the reason why I took that attitude, I'll just wait till I get arrested for something else I didn't do and go answer for it, is because I knew that was going to be exactly what happens, because that's usually what always happens. Now, low-key, it was kind of vandalism, but I mean, that should have been dismissed as well. Why? Or a very small fine. Why? Because I was trying to protect myself. The police knew I had been assaulted. Some people called the police and told them that the man was assaulted by 3 individuals. And he's over here bleeding, and we have blood everywhere because somebody tried to stab him. The police in Santa Monica are racist. Black people make up the majority of people incarcerated. And this is one of the reasons why. You're looking at one of the prime reasons why. You're looking at one of the most extreme examples of the things that Black America has been telling you about for decades. And the reason why I say we've been telling you about for decades is because y'all knew about it in the beginning. And a few people stepped up, like Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, and so on. But the rest of y'all didn't care because it wasn't happening to you or your son, or your daughter, or your grandson. And it didn't matter. A lot of y'all didn't step up because you was white and you liked it. A lot of y'all was Mexican and you didn't really care. A lot of y'all was German or Polish or Italian and you locked that nigga up. Kill him. Take away his rights. Give him cruel, unusual punishment. He ain't nothing but a nigger and a slave anyway. And for the blacks that don't care, hey, it ain't me. I just got out to join for something. I'm not going to get involved. Or, I got my own business. At the time, when the man got on the phone and made the false accusation about me assaulting him with a martial arts weapon, it was 2 black men across the street that saw everything. Before the police came, I went to them and I said, this man is over here calling the police and he's finna set me up. I said, when the police come, can y'all tell the police what actually happened because y'all saw everything and tell the police that I didn't do nothing? Can y'all take my phone off? No. Oh, can y'all take my phone number and, check up on me? I knew they wasn't going to do none of that. But I had to try because if I didn't, I would have no witnesses. And I would be set up again. So when the police came, I tried to call the dudes across the street so they could tell the police that this man was lying. They just sat their black ass right there and let me get took to jail for nothing. Now, do you think I would have did the same thing to them? You already know the answer to that is no. I wouldn't have sat up there and let nobody just set them up. On many occasions, I have stepped up for my people when the police was mistreating them. I've stepped up on many occasions when the police was just doing anything to anybody that I thought was inappropriate. From the streets to the penitentiary, many people will tell you of many different races that I've helped to inform them of their rights, helped them with a little bit of criminal law that I knew, helped them fight their cases and so on and so forth, and helped them beat their cases and get out. Many occasions, people will tell you that I done turned on my video camera and said, hey, this is what's actually going on, and police out there doing things to people. But I'm going to get ready to finish this video, and I'll finish this video by saying, I went to court. When I went to court, district attorney was like, oh yeah, no, the judge was like, how do you plead? These your charges, yada, yada. I'm about to say, first of all, I'm representing myself. That's number one. So this totally defender that y'all sent back here, I don't need, I'm not finna have. I just got out the penitentiary beating 2 setups. I did my own jury trial. And instead of giving me the 20 years they were trying to give me, I got myself 3. And when I was paroling About 4 or 5 days or so, I got out the joint, y'all, for something that I did not do in the first place on the original setup that sent me to the joint. Only been one time, went on the setup. About 4 or 5 days before I was trying to get ready to leave the police, the penitentiary, the police bought me a detainer. That means a warrant inside the joint, to answer for 3 more false charges that the CDCR gave me, correctional officers inside the penitentiary. Gave me 3 more charges, charged me with 3 more strikes, and tried to keep me for life in the penitentiary. I'll beat that too, y'all, representing myself. Yes, I just got out the joint a couple of years ago, and I'll be 20 years and life back-to-back pro se. That means I represented myself in court at a jury trial, say it again, and beat 20 years, and beat 20 years and beat life back-to-back pro per. I'm representing myself. So me and the district attorney, we talked for a minute. I'll tell him the facts. Somebody tried to rob me, so I shouldn't be charged with this one. And matter of fact, the next day, after y'all done took my weapons, some other people tried to get me. In this criminalized city y'all got down here, but y'all ain't doing nothing but harassing the blacks and locking up the blacks down here for crimes that they ain't committing, ain't catching the real criminals. Well, of course, he defended, but hey, he got me, so he gonna work with that and get him a win. So he said, okay, let me check the information. And he telling me, they call me back in the court. I'm like, he ain't checked no information this size. We get out there. He lied to the judge. Oh, judge, I don't think this man understand what he's talking about. Wait a minute, I just did 20 years and life back-to-back representing myself, and you try to act like I don't understand what? The judge say, well, I'm not going to mess with his pro per status. The judge, technically it's unconstitutional. No matter what any other court say, a judge really don't have the right to interfere with your right to self-representation. That's not in the United States Constitution. Whether or not the judge can let you represent yourself in court. Other courts have said that, but the United States Constitution has not said that. See, the United States Constitution is the law upon which other laws are supposed to be built. And unfortunately, the laws that are beat and oppress and torture and falsely incarcerate the niggas are constantly being written over and over and over again. And we are constantly being enslaved and being segregated and being incarcerated and being murdered and tortured and beaten by law enforcement. So after I took the deal, settle, it wasn't nothing, small little thing. Let's go ahead and handle this, get out of here. I say, Your Honor, may I make a statement for the court? Yes, you can. Well, Your Honor, the district attorney just lied to you because the same video that he has, that he's trying to use evidence against me, showed me in the McDonald's arguing with the man who was trying to rob me. I said, ever since I was 11 years old, I've been being beaten, set up, and tortured, and had multiple attempts on my life made by law enforcement with the help of corrupt lawyers and crooked district attorneys. And I wish it would stop. Y'all, that's their plan. That's always in their plan. But decades ago, God told me the plan. And that's why I was ready for it. That's why I beat 20 years and life back to back with the help from the Lord. Good day. God bless.